I know we probably will have a few will join late, but I just started recording. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Alrighty, everyone. Before we start our session tonight, may I ask a favor of you to test out your microphone?
Hello. It works.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it working?
Oops.
Hello.
Hi. Everyone's microphone works?
I think so. Hello.
I assume you can hear me.
Is that Gina?
No, that's Deborah.
Deborah, yes. Okay, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. No, I like your background, Aisha.
Thank you.
That's very fallish. Johan, can you speak?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. We have a full agenda tonight. So everybody knows it's an 8-week class, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me welcome you to EDUC802, Teaching in Higher Education. And this course, I think this course is recently added to one of the leadership core to the EDD program. So I think probably that's why I see some of the students from EDD program, and this is one of the major area course in the DPS program. So that's why I have some DPS students here. And I think I see a few names that I have had in the past, like Shannon, Rachel, and who else? And Gina, I think, right? And well, I know Mary Beth. We work together. Let me see who else I'm familiar with. Okay, I think that's about it. But it's okay. This is a time for us to get to know each other, and I look forward to the next 8 weeks with all of you. All right. So this is our agenda tonight. So the next, we check off the welcome. Next is let's get to know each other. So I will introduce myself, and I would like you to introduce yourself as well. And I will share with you what are the expectations for me as your professor in this course. And I will give you an overview, a course overview, and then I will give you an overview of the Module 1 assignments as well as the project, which runs through the entire course. I know you're very excited about your project. So I can't wait to share with you what your project should look like and what it entailed in your project. And last part is the Q&A. So although I put the Q&A at the last agenda item, doesn't mean that you have to hold your questions until the end of the class. So if you have any questions, just turn off your mic and ask the questions, okay? Alrighty, about me. I'm the chair of the Doctor of Professional Studies in Instructional Design Leadership. And I'm also the program chair for the Master of Instructional Design and Learning Technology program. So I chair both instructional design programs at Franklin University. I'm a Chinese native. I am from China. Born and grew up in China and came to United States in 1999 to pursue my master's degree. And then after that, moved to Mississippi, Starkville, Mississippi, to pursue my PhD degree in instructional systems and workforce development. I live in Mississippi for 5 years to finish my doctorate. I thought I would finish in 3 years, but I ended up finishing 5 years. So as you know, that our doctor program is designed for 3 years. So if you can finish 3 years, not a big deal. It's very normal. I spent 5 years, and some people spend 7, 8, or even 10 years to finish the doctorate. So first of all, I don't want you to pressure that you must finish your doctorate in 3 years, or if you just take the courses, you will finish in 3 years. No, that's not the case either. If you follow the course sequence that we designed for you, taking 2 courses per term, which is really pretty hard as you're all working professionals, you will finish your coursework in the first 3 years. Now, the hardest part for a doctorate is your dissertation research. Usually, if you're lucky, you'll be able to, or if you're really organized and planned, you may be able to finish in 1 year. But most of the cases, it takes longer. Like for my case, it took me 2 years. The first year I was working on one research. Then I changed my, and I have to switch my dissertation chair, and then I changed my topic. So I pretty much I pretty much spent a year doing nothing. And the second year I was able to finish my dissertation research. One thing I want to remind you is when you write the first 3 chapters, writing is not as hard as your collecting data and data analysis. Be prepared for any hurdles or delays as you apply for the IRB, as you get in the as you collecting data, because those challenges are very often unpredictable. Okay, so if you end up spending more time collecting data, which you may have to, and just deal with it. Don't push yourself and say, I have to get this done, because when you're not collecting your data, you won't be able to get your data for your analysis and for your research. So I wanted to give you that, I want to clarify that, because a lot of people believe that, hey, this is a 3-year program, I can finish my doctorate in 3 years. It's totally up to you. Like I said, it's totally up to you. You can if you work really hard, but you may not be able to if you take 1 course per term, especially you take longer time in your dissertation phase. Okay? I joined Franklin in 2006. So I have been working at Franklin for almost 14 years. So next year will be my 15th working anniversary at Franklin. That's a long time. My research interests, game-based learning, quality of online education. That was my primary research interest. That's also part of my dissertation research. When I was working on my dissertation, I did students' perceptions of quality of online education. At that time, I was like, I want to review the quality of online education from all perspectives. My advisors say, I don't think so, because you just don't have the time, and you don't have the literature review to support all you can do. Because when you talk about quality of online education, we talk about from students' perspective, from faculty's perspective, and also we have to also consider administrators' perspective. So I said, okay, all right, let me start with the students, because it's easier. It's easiest to obtain the data from students' perception on the quality of online education. So I did that for my dissertation. Then I said, after I finish my dissertation, I'm going to do the triangulated approach. I'm looking at the faculties and administrators. Guess what? I never had the time to do the other 2. So if you think your dissertation is going to solve the word problem, I don't think so. So my point is, find a workable and doable topic for your dissertation research. Okay. Now, along with the quality of online education, I developed a thread of my research interests on online teaching and learning effectiveness. So particularly looking at what are the strategies to improve online teaching and online learning, and also instructional design leadership and competencies. So what are the competencies for a good, instructional design leader in the field? So those some of the research interests that, with the research that I have done throughout the years. Now, any questions? All right, let me hear about you. Okay, so I would like to, when you introduce yourself, I would like to tell me and tell everyone what's your name, what do you live, what's your job, what do you harvest, and which doctoral program are you in, and how many doctoral courses have you taken so far? Now, what makes you decided to take this particular course? What are your career goals? What do you hope to learn in this course? I'm most interested in those. Now the floor is yours. I'm gonna turn off my microphone, and if you want to speak, go ahead and turn off your microphone and you can speak. Let me know, let me get to know you.
Okay, I can start. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Johannes Azaga. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I work for BWC, Bureau of Workers' Compensation, as a infrastructure specialist. I'm originally from Ethiopia. I came to the United States in 1996, and my hobbies are watching soccer. I am in an EDD program, and this is probably, I think, the 5th class I'm taking. It's part of, I think, the requirement from within the EDD program. The EDUC802, teaching in higher education, is a requirement. And I really want to go back to Africa and work on the quality of education after I retire from my job. So my career goals is just to go and assist higher education in Africa. Basically, it's like assisting because I want to make sure that things are going okay in Ethiopia. So I want to learn how to teach in higher education, how to be a faculty member in education. In higher education, that's what I'm expecting to learn from this class. That's all I have.
Thank you, Johan.
Mm-hmm.
I can go next. My name is Shannon Epling. I live in Hocking Hills, Ohio. So I still work on Ohio State's campus. So I do that commute in normal circumstances, but I have been working from home now since March due to the pandemic. I am a manager of PhD life scientists. So we curate journal articles, patent articles, and all kinds of scientific information. So my world has been very busy since last December with pandemic literature. Hobbies, I like to do crafts and that kind of thing. I have 2 dogs, one of which made an appearance just a moment ago, stuck his face right in the camera. I'm in the DPS program. I do, as part of my job, instructional design and training. So I am taking this course because I do a lot with adult learners, and adult learning theory is quite a bit different. And how to train people, I like to take educational theory and extrapolate that into training and knowledge management. So I use a lot of educational theory to underlie and to develop sound principles for training, because training requires that you gain a skill. It's not just instructional. So I use a lot of these theories to develop training programs for the American Chemical Society, who is my employer. So that's kind of what I hope to do, career goals and those kind of things with this course.
Thank you, Shannon. Who else would like to go next?
I can go. My name is Mary Beth, and I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I work for Franklin University, so I'm a partnership account manager for the different organizations that we partner with, and I also am an adjunct faculty member. And my hobbies, really, besides taking classes all the time, is I run every day, and I work at USATF track meets and college track meets. I officiate. I am in the EDD program with a focus on higher ed, and I actually was planning on taking this course before it became a requirement. I was going to use it as an elective just because I wanted to improve upon my teaching skills, and I've also never developed a course before, so I thought that this would be a good class to cover those. I don't fully know what I want to be when I grow up, so I know that I want to teach more, but I really also like the administrative side of things at the university, so I don't really know which path I'm going to take yet. I'm kind of just open to wherever opportunities lead. But like I said, from this class, I really just want to learn how to be a better instructor, maybe look at different type of technologies to use in the classroom, and how to fully develop a course.
Thank you, Mary Beth. It's Mary Beth and I, we worked together on some of the partnerships before. So I'm very glad she's in this class, and I look forward to see you work. All right, who would like to go next? How about this? How about you guys just jump in without me keep asking everyone?
All right. I was going to say, I can go next. I'm Chrissy Ryan. I live in Pennsylvania. I am an administrator at a middle school. So I get to deal with lots of hormones every day, which is always so much fun. My hobbies, I enjoy watching my kids play sports. Well, in fact, I only have one kid playing sports in high school now. And love taking walks and being outside and hiking and kayaking and anything just to keep moving. This is my 6th doctorate class. I am in the organizational leadership EDD program. This is actually a requirement for me. However, again, when I grow up, I'm not really sure what I want to do. If I want to go in collegiate, actually teach, or, go into more of the administrative. In my past life, I was a literacy coach and an instructional coach. So teaching adults, I did enjoy that greatly. So I'm looking forward to even having more strategies that I could even work with my teachers and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to be a part of this class.
Thank you, Chrissy.
I'll go. I'm Daisha, and I'm in North Canton, Ohio, which is just near the Football Hall of Fame. I am a full-time faculty member at Stark State College here in North Canton. So it's a community college with associate degrees and a 2+2 agreements with Ohio State and some of the other universities in Ohio. My hobbies, I love to read when I have time. I love binging on Netflix, and I'm a gamer. So video games, waiting for that PS5 to drop so I can get some new games going. I also, like Chrissy, have one child in sports. He's at football practice right now, but he's 8. So we're starting the football trend, and we'll see how that goes in the future. I'm currently in the EDD program with the higher educational track. I am taking this course because one, it's a requirement, but although I've been at Stark State since 2010, I never had any formal training in instructional design, even though I designed a lot of courses for our program. Let's see, I think this is my third class. I'm taking another class simultaneously with this course. My career goals, just becoming a better instructor. I am a program coordinator for the sociology and gerontology programs. So making sure I'm able to run those programs efficiently and effectively, not just for my adjuncts, but also for the students. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Great.
I'm
Thank you, Daisha.
I
Go
am
ahead,
Adrian. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Adrian.
I'm Adrian Preddy, and I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. I work at Ivy Tech Community College, where I am the Director of Human Resources in our systems office. Hobbies, I do like to run. I like to exercise. I like to Netflix. I love to watch Netflix, and I like spending time with family. I do have a son who is a freshman at Ball State, so I'm an empty nester. So well, I don't have a lot of time still, but still time is differently allocated now that he's out of the house. I am in the EDD program for organizational leadership. I'm taking this course because of course it is a requirement, but that's not the reason I wanted to take it. I have a lot of experience in training and development and facilitation, but I've never actually taught in a classroom. And I know there's some similarities, but I just want to understand teaching philosophies as that are different than training and development philosophy. So I'm really excited to have this opportunity before I go into a classroom to teach. My career goals, I love human resources, but I also love higher education. And so when I complete the program, I want to teach leadership classes in area colleges in Indianapolis. So that's my dream, is to teach leadership courses to higher ed students. So I hope to learn, all the fundamental foundational things that I need to know as a adjunct faculty or faculty on a college campus. This is actually my very last class before comprehensive exams. So, but I'm super excited about that. So I'll take comprehensive exams in January. That's the plan. And that's it, I think. Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Monique Lumpkin. I live in Columbus, Ohio with my family, but I am a native of Canada originally. I currently work at Ohio State. I'm a financial services specialist there, so I work a lot directly with students and helping them to understand their statement of accounts and payments and fee tables and things like that. My hobbies are, I would say, probably exercise and hanging out with family. Also Netflixing. We do a lot of that. And board games. We love board games. So there's always like a family game night and a Friday pizza movie night. So we love doing that. I am a EDD student as well. So this class was a requirement. But I'm excited to take it because I've never taught before. I know I'm exploring still some of my postgraduate options. My leaning is always to administrative work because that's what I've done in the past. But I'd like to have the option of teaching if that presents itself as well. So I'm interested to see what that's like, what's needed. To see if it's a good fit for me. And let's see, what else is there? And I guess that's it. I think I covered everything.
Hi, my name is Deborah Davis. Can everybody hear me? I'm Deborah Davis. I'm a resident of Englewood, Ohio, which is a suburb of Dayton, Ohio. My job is I'm a business developer for a couple of other colleges, the University of Phoenix and Excelsior in New York. I see you, Mary Beth. And my hobbies are quite a bit. I'm a grandma, soon to be a great grandma, but I love hanging out with my grandchildren. I love being grandma. They call me Honey Gram and Grand. I'm embracing all of that. I'm in the EDD for organizational design. One of the reasons why I'm here now is because I've always wanted to be here. And I've had so much life to be lived and wanting to jump in and burying parents and taking care of sick folks and all this. And when I saw a moment, an opportunity, I jumped in. And not to mention the fact too that I made a wager with my grandchildren that are in college, in the military, that they had to outdo me, right? So I had to come on and step up my game, and I'm really looking forward to it. But alongside of being a business developer, also too with my other part of the things that I'm interested in and that I do is youth at risk for the city of Dayton. And that's part of my reason for wanting, it's part of a requirement for me, this class. But I'm also very interested in learning how to reach them better and to articulate in a way for where they're coming from and to come up with more creative ways to teach them. I have and am an adjunct for Clark State, and my career goal is just to be a fly grandma and to teach till I can't teach anymore. And I'm excited about the opportunity to do so and to learn from each and every one of you guys. And it's been really challenging so far. This is my third class. I mean, you talk about challenge, that's me, but I'm in it to win it. And I have time to do it, and I'm excited. And I look forward to learning from each of you. Thanks.
I guess I'll go next. Can you hear me? My name is Gina Edwards. I live in a little town called Bradley, Illinois. I'm 60 miles south of Chicago. I just moved here a year ago. I lived in Mississippi on the Gulf Coast for 19 years. I married somebody in the military, moved down there, and that didn't work out. And so, but I still stayed. And then my children are down there. I have 2 adult children, and one of them is married and has 2 children of her own. My grandchildren are 14 and 11. And so I miss them. They got to come up this summer and spend a month with me this summer. So I got to have them here for a whole month, and their parents kind of got a break. And then my youngest daughter stayed here that month as well, and she flew back to Mississippi with them. And so they didn't have to go on the plane alone. I was a little nervous about them doing that. And so my job is I work for Travel Outlook. It is a high-end reservation company for like high-end hotels, motels. Our rooms run some of them as little as 100 a month. I mean, a night, some of them as much as 800 a night. I think one agent actually had a $45,000 reservation one time, which I nearly fainted. That's a car. But so we are we do take care of a lot of high-end companies, hotels and motels, all over the United States, as well as some in the Caribbean and different places. All over, actually. We've actually just picked some up in the Thailands and in Maldives and different things like that. So we're having a little bit of a learning challenge with different languages. And so that kind of segues into what I do there. My official title really is, I always forget what it is, and that's horrible. You don't even know what your title is I'm training and property information specialist. So what I do is I pretty much create and edit all of our curriculum that we do. We have a learning management system. We're not a very, very large company. We probably have around 250, maybe 300 employees, if that many. And so we do training for our new agent to come on board. It's all homework. Everybody works at home. I work at home. The owners, everybody. We're all home-based company. So, but we do pride ourselves on teaching our agents, getting them up to speed. We have a 3-week training program. And then every time a new property comes on board, we have what we call a FAM tour, which the property kind of gives us a PowerPoint information about their new property that we're going to take care of. And some of them even walk us around the whole building in a little walking tour with their cameras. And that they just recently started doing that. It was quite interesting. And so then I take all of that video and audio and I edit it down into a lesson. And that's for our property aspects. And then the other side is if we get new software or any kind of whatever we get new, I have to learn it. And then I have to teach it to everybody else in the company. So I sit and learn things all day long and teach it to other people. And we have a learning management system that we upload all of our data into. And that way allows us to track how our agents are doing, and everyone has access to that 24/7. And this is my 9th class. Well, actually, this will be my 10th class. I've had 9 classes prior to this one. I am a instructional design leadership student, and I've got my master's in instructional design. And then my other aspects was my bachelor's was in computers, information system technology. So I also, my other hat I wear at work is I also do our IT stuff. I do all of our accounts set up. Every time an agent new comes in, I have to create passwords. Every time we get a new account, I have to make about 150 users or more, depending on how many agents we have at the time. And so I have to sit and create all these users. And if they get locked out or whatever, I have to get them back in. So kind of I'm on call 24/7 in a little ways. I don't sleep much. And what else do I do? I also have to, whenever we have a new class come on, we have them create a new account on their own computers that's dedicated to our company. And I help set them that up with them. I help them set up a new user, new Chrome, new everything. So I'm kind of like IT / many things there. So, and then in aspects of, I have, my hobbies are, I like to read a lot. I usually have 2 books going at once. I listen to one and I read another. And then I make wreaths and I make hair bows for my granddaughter. My granddaughter is a special needs child, so she has always loved to wear hair bows no matter how old she is. She's 14 now, but she still loves her hair bows. So she's got cerebral palsy, central auditory disorder, and seizures. She's got all kinds of different things going, but she's high functioning. She walks and talks and everything. She's so cute. And she also, I play Sims 4. I'm kind of been playing that for about 13 years, something like that. Since it came out, Sims 2, and now I'm up to 4, Sims 4. I have all the packs for it and everything. My daughter and I play that. And I do binge watching on Netflix. I love to binge watch things on Netflix. And even though my daughter's in Mississippi, sometimes we binge watch together, even though we're so far apart. And then we do video chats, and that's kind of how much we keep up with each other. My sister and I bought a house together here in Bradley. That was the main reason I moved back here, because my sisters are older than I. They're 10 and 11 years older, and their health is kind of failing. And so far, I've got 2 good legs and arms, so I come to help them so that they wouldn't be by themselves. And my one sister, she wasn't hardly getting to go out in the winter or nothing because she was always afraid of falling. So now we're together, and I take care of whatever she can't do. That's pretty much me in a nutshell.
I'll go ahead and go. I'm Richard Trimmel. I live in Cleveland, Mississippi. Not near as nice as the Gulf Coast. I'm further upstate in the Delta, but I'm the chair of the Entertainment Industry Studies program at Delta State University. This is my 6th year at Delta State, and I've been in the classroom since 1993. Please don't tell me how many years that is. I don't want to know. But I've taught 6 years as a high school band director, and then I spent 15 years at a community college in North Carolina before coming to Mississippi. I love to play music. I like to play golf whenever I can. I'm in the Instructional Design Leadership DPS program, and I'm here because I want to learn more about this, and I think it's a great class to have. My first experience with teaching college, my first day at the community college, I was handed a key and told that there's my classroom and good luck. So there was no training for, you know, teaching in college, and so I had to learn pretty quickly how to transfer what I learned about teaching in high school to college, and a lot of the things are not the same. Similar concepts, but completely different world.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Did I have everyone speak?
I haven't gone yet.
That's what I thought, Kelly. Go ahead.
Yeah. It was a couple minutes late, sorry. I am Kelly O'Donnell. I live in Columbus, Ohio on the Far East Side. I am a high school teacher. However, this year I do have one. My building is 7 through 12 because we're STEM based. So this year I actually do have an 8th grade math class too. So that's kind of interesting. My first teaching licensures were in middle school, but I never taught it. I've only taught high school. This is a second career, so I've only been teaching. This is my 9th year. Hobbies, I love to travel. I love to do crafts. I'm kind of hooked on like paint nights now and that type of thing. Although I'm getting quite a collection of pictures and maybe not enough wall space. I love to garden, although this year it didn't really take off this year. But travel is my main thing. I have a lot of relatives all over, and I still have some I haven't seen, like in Idaho, Washington, Oregon. I am in the DPS program. I started in the EDD program at another university and transferred in. So I started last fall. I'm taking 2 courses right now. The other one's just finishing up. And I may have 1, and then I can take my comprehensive exams because I transferred in a lot. This is a required course. However, I kind of would like to teach at the collegiate level. Before I started teaching, I worked for Aetna Insurance. And in that role, I had various different roles, but my last one, they just kind of made me our department trainer and told me to create the curriculum. But I had a lot of hats, kind of like Gina was saying. I served on a policy writing committee. I did plan testing when they enhanced the system. And I worked in partnership when internal audit came in and on a project. And I worked with the guy that was kind of leading the internal audit, and he just kept talking about I was the best teacher he ever had. And I thought that was kind of strange, you know, because he went to college and everything, but he just thought I was awesome. So he's kind of been a driving force ever since I changed careers. And I made a good change. I mean, because Aetna's owned by CVS now, and a lot of people got job eliminated and a bunch of different stuff. I hope to learn some strategies. Although I taught adults, my current experience is with teenagers, now from the youngest to the oldest. What else do I want to share? I have 2 dogs, so they might introduce themselves at some time. And I think that's about, my dad is from Dayton, so I have a lot of relatives in Dayton.
one family in particular, my cousin's son is mayor of Riverside, Pete Williams. And then I have my one cousin is on city council in Loveland, which is outside of Cincinnati. So you may know some of my relatives because they kind of get around. I think I'm done.
Thank you, Kelly. And thanks again, everyone, for your introduction and for sharing your some of your stories and your goals with us. And I'm very glad and impressed that we have such a diversified group that you can, I hope you all learn from each other as well. Now, I created the course a year ago. And one of the reasons that I created this course is I noticed that some of our DPS students do not have that strong theoretical background in instruction design, learning theories, and training. So I want to have a course that to fill that gap for the DPS students. And then the more I think about it, the more I realized that what I will introduce here would not only serve for DPS students, but it can really benefit all students that who wanted to be in a teaching career, who wanted to teach in college, or who wanted their faculty, because a lot of those principles are really translatable. And the third reason, yes, I noticed that a lot of college instructors or professors, they never had any formal training on how to teach, how to know what students learned. And they learned from how they were taught in their classroom by those instructors. So that's part of the reason that I really want to build a systematic course that can really train our students, give them a systematic training and how to teach and how to design a course. And that's what this course is about. So I hope by the end of this course and your project will be a basis for you to create a course or create a training. I know not everyone's going to be in a higher ed, but the principles are the same. So if you teach if you create a training course and the principles are the same. Now, this is my expectations for you as your professor. First of all, I will expect you to study hard. This is only 8 weeks. Each week, we have a lot of readings. We have a lot of materials. So you really need to read those materials to have those knowledge foundation for you to be able to do your work and do a good project. And that leads to my second expectation. I would expect you to produce good quality work, not mediocre work. That include your course discussions, papers, and project. Please don't submit something without check your grammars or not following the APA 7's format, okay? Or I once had a doctoral student who submitted a paper, a research paper to me. The introduction and conclusion are the same. And that's not right. You don't have a conclusion the same as your introduction, or just copy paste your introduction to your conclusion. And in addition to those writing, grammar, and I would also expect you to, I expect to see the critical thinking in your writing, the synthesis in your writing, as well as your doctoral level academic writing. You can be a good creative writing, doesn't mean that you'll be good academic writer, okay? Because academic writer, it needs more research based, okay? Need to write like a scholar, not a storyteller. And third, don't assume an A or 100% for all of your grades. I have students complain because I'm a program chair. I quite often have to handle a lot of student issues. They're telling me that, Dr. Yan, I got all A's in my master program, in my master courses, or in my previous doctoral courses. Why I'm not getting A? Why I'm getting B? I said, first of all, the doctoral level course is not nearly close to your master course. Your doctoral level course, you're supposed to put more effort, more energy. Supposed to spend more time, and doctoral courses are not master course on steroid. You have to earn it. I have to see the work you put in. You have to meet the outcomes that are described in those assignments. And sometimes you have to go above and beyond of what's in it and what's beyond. Not only talk about what's in the action items, but based on your research, what's beyond it, okay? And why are you not receiving 100%? Because if you want to receive a perfect score, make sure the work is perfect first. So can you tell me that, hey, my work is perfect? And lastly, be able to accept constructive feedback. Okay, my job is to help you learn. And my job is to make sure you learn the right thing. So if you cannot accept constructive feedback, you're probably in the wrong place, okay? Because I mean, when I give you feedback, my goal is to make sure that you understand those materials, make sure that you are on the right track. So I would not sugarcoat the errors you made, okay? So those are my expectations for you. I want to feel comfortable of those expectations I lay out here. And if you can, or if you can do any of those 4 things, maybe consider take this course with another instructor or someone else. But by the end of this course, my goal is, and I also want to make sure that you will feel that you earned this course, you earned the grade in this course, and you learned a lot. That was my goal. I want to make sure that you learned. All right. I want you to know those are the class meetings throughout this course. Tonight is our first online class meeting. This is a mandatory class meeting. So when this course ends, when this session ends, those 11 peers are here tonight. You will receive 20 points. I know this course we have a 15. So for those other 3, and they will have to take alternative assignment that you don't have to do. If you are here online tonight, you don't have to do the alternative assignment. I also set a week 3 online class meeting. That's a week 3, October 6th. That's on Tuesday night, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a voluntary session. So you don't have to be in that session if you have a conflict. This is more of a virtual office hour. So I will answer any questions you have in terms for your readings, assignments, or your projects. Okay. And I might also give you some key points that you need to consider, where you need to pay attention for your assignments or for your project. I might also share additional resources that may help you as you work on, prepare your teaching career. The next online class meeting is also mandatory with 20 points associated with it. That will be on October 29th, Thursday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So that online class meeting will prepare you for your project, okay? As well as give you a summary of what we have talked about, and then particularly on the rest of the classes, as well as like I think by week 6, you should be more than halfway through your project. You may have a lot of questions, and that's the time you really should come prepared. And the last class meeting, online class meeting, is in week 8. That's the last week. That's your final project presentation time. As you can tell, that's from 6 to 9 p.m. I set it for 3 hours because we have 15 students currently enrolled. I don't know how many will stay, and I hope you all stay. So each one will spend 15 minutes, and 10 minutes, 15 students will be 150 minutes. So that's why I said 3 hours, and hopefully it won't take that long. And that's your last week, and that's the time when you're going to present your final project. Okay, so that in week 8 there would not be like a new class session. Any questions so far? Are you guys scared? Intimidated?
I'm not scared, but I was just looking at the instructions for the class meeting, and it says like whether you attended or not, that we have to fill out that form, but that's a no since we're online tonight.
What form?
There is, it says written assignment, and it's like action item 5 under the mandatory class meeting.
Hold
Up
on
to
a sec.
250 words, yeah, 250 words. We have to submit, yeah, it says.
Hold on. Let me pause. Let me stop sharing this. Let me go to your class. Let me go to your course website. Yes, the written assignment is for the alternative. So if you are in here tonight, you don't have to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was, what form? I don't recall I ever put a form in the course. Yeah, okay. All right, let's go back to your to our PowerPoint. And another reason I specifically focus on my expectation, yes, from my master students, I have had this experience, like students share with me that they had some of instructors in the courses that they're in, they didn't learn anything. They got an A. And I also have a student who got several A's in their last course, about to graduate from the master program, but she could not even articulate the basic model in instructional design. That's why I feel so compelled that grade is not the most important thing. What you learned is the most important thing. And that what you learn is what you can take away, no matter where you are, no matter what your grade's in. Okay? All right. What this course is about. In a nutshell, this course is to prepare you to be a good instructor. There's 3 modules in this course. The module 1 is a higher education environment. So we want you to get familiar with what higher education environment looks like. And this is in week 1. Week 2 is the ballpark of this course. It's from week 2 to week 7. So in the module 2, teaching and learning higher education, you will learn how to design a college level course or a training program. And second, what are the learning technologies out there in the world? And how can I choose the proper technologies for my course? Now, let me ask you a quick question. Should learning technology come before the course outcome, or the course outcome come before the learning technologies? I want to hear some of your thoughts.
I'm a little ahead due to my course load, so I don't have a problem weighing in a little bit. I did all of the reading and learned about all of the technologies first. So then it really stood out to me when I was designing my outcomes, which ones fit. Like it already made sense, like, oh, this is that, because I did a lot of the experiential learning theory and the adult learning philosophy by Knowles. So I found that if I knew the technologies first, they fit naturally to developing my outcomes and seeing how they all worked together. So that's just a preferential part so I did the technologies first and then wrote my outcomes. It was a little easier to identify.
Any other thoughts?
I believe the technologies need to come first because not all technologies are going to work for all audiences. So I think that your technology somewhat needs to be geared to the audience that you're going to have. Otherwise, it might not be a positive outcome.
Thank you for sharing, Kelly and Shannon. So the way I see it is, before you design the course, I think both Kelly and Shannon, you already have a good level of understanding for the learning technologies. So it becomes naturally for you to choose the learning technologies to fit the outcomes. However, what you really should do is design your course first. Look at the course outcomes, and then choose the learning technologies that really meets the outcome. Okay, because your technology should serve for the purpose of the learning, not fit the learning to the learning technologies. Because you always start with the learning first. Now, with the knowledge of the learning technologies, that will make you easier to choose which technology. And that's exactly what I want you to focus here, to have an understanding of what the course will be about, what the training will be about, and then select the proper learning technology to really fit this learning outcome, to really serve that learning outcome. Other important things that will be covered in the module 2 are the instructional strategies. Instructional strategy, that's the very unique part of this course, and that's not covered. You probably don't see that anywhere. And I particularly allocate 1 week for instructional strategy because it is really, really important. It really differentiates a good course and a bad course. As when pandemic hits, a lot of K-12 teachers or college professors, they're swamped to rambling to put a course online, and they either put all PowerPoint online, or they just shoot a video and put all the video online. Those are not online courses. Those are not online learning either. They have to have a strategist to be involved to properly measure the outcomes, measure the assignments. So when you design those assignments, when you provide your course lectures, you really have to consider the proper strategies so that really support the learning, can really help learning occur. And lastly, can really make a learning stick. A lot of times we'll talk about learning, but how to make learning stick. That's what instructional strategies will do. And you will learn that in your in probably week 6. So make sure you pay attention to that. And lastly, in the module 2 is you assess learners. How do you know if your learners actually learned? Okay. And how do you know the learning outcomes or course outcomes are met by your students? So that's you will learn that. And the last module is week 8. That's faculty careers. So that's the module we share with you, how to prepare VEDA, and how to what other job sites. And for faculty career, no matter it's a full-time teaching career or a part-time adjunct teaching career, what are the websites there for you to give you those information? How you can be how you can enter a higher education to be a faculty. So that's the last module. Any questions? Now, I have a question for everyone here. I'm gonna set up a 3 breakout rooms. So I want you to spend 10 minutes, to discuss the question. Listen carefully. The question is, list 3 things that impact higher education right now, and explain how you would respond as a college instructor. All right, so I'm gonna set up the breakout room. So just randomly.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat the questions before you break out the rooms? Just
What?
repeat. Can you repeat the questions?
Okay, the question is, list three things that impact higher education right now, and how would you respond to those challenges or the things that impact higher education as a college instructor? Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, all your rooms are ready. Come back in, let's say in 7 minutes.
Time for the children and adults as well, having to learn under this kind of conditions that they're not maybe used to.
Exactly.
Dr. Yang?
Yes, I'm just observing.
Okay.
Okay, maybe get ready to come back to the to our main room.
Okay. So how do we do that? We just
Okay.
exit?
Yeah, you just exit the breakout room. You'll be back to the main room. Join the main room.
Okay. So how do you guys feel? We got enough?
Well, I was just kind of writing down big ideas. So it seems like mostly what's in like the overall impact is like COVID and the social justice issues that are going on. And then because of that, there's the technology issues, there's like mental wellness issues.
They had, before the pandemic, they might have had financial issues, and the pandemic made it even that much worse for them.
All right, guys, I just want to let you guys know that you're ready to get back to the main room now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does it magically happen, or do we leave the room?
No, yeah, you leave here. You leave the breakout room. You just click the 3 dots. Did you see the 3 dots? More? Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Let me go to the 3rd black breakout room. I will close our room. They'll be back.
Okay.
Scopes that we're trying to work within at this particular time. Everything has changed.
Hello, guys. This is Dr. Yan. Just want to let you guys know that it's ready to come back to the main room.
Okay.
Okay. All righty.
think it's easier, but then you don't have all the bells and whistles. You don't have the break groups and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
All right, so everybody's back, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now share with me what your group discussed in 2 minutes each group.
All right, we can start ours. Group one, the challenges that impact higher education right now are: one, technology; second one is the pandemic; and the third one is the economy. These are the three that the technology, the Wi-Fi issue, students losing focus, those are the challenges. And how do we respond to that is to teach technology, to use new tools. What's that?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so the technology issue is teach how do we respond to the technology issue is just to learn more technologies, teach more technologies, and use new tools. So that's how far we went. So that's what we have. Deborah, Kelly, if you need to add, you can add. That's what I have on mine.
From the pandemic, I mean, I threw that one out. A lot of it has to do with being able to help your students persevere through any trauma they may be experiencing as a result of the pandemic, whether it be that they've lost relatives, they've lost their social connection to peers. There's all kinds of trauma going on as a result of everybody being forced to stay home.
Third group. Did every group share? Sorry, I got a doorbell ring, so I have to answer it.
No, we haven't shared yet. I can kind of do a summary for us and people can jump in.
Yeah.
So we talked about like there kind of being two big issues as a whole, being the pandemic and then the social justice issues that are going on right now. And then as a result, there's the technology issues. So not just teaching people how to use the new technology, but even finding the technology for people to use. So Adrian brought up that they were opening up campuses to let people get close enough to even use Wi-Fi for people who didn't have Wi-Fi usage. Them not being able to access computers to work on assignments. We talked about really focusing on mental wellness and how that with, you know, just how you were talking about with maybe family members have passed away, or with the social justice issues, just dealing with the emotional side of that, and also not being on campus or being on campus but not being able to be with other students, and just the need for professors to adjust and be flexible and just to take care of students more than just with grades, but their overall well-being.
Great, great discussions. I think, you know, there's just no right or wrong answer for these questions. Before different people have different perspectives, but I want you to be prepared for it. Okay. All right, then come up next, I would like to share with you what is the assignment review for your module 1. The first assignment is your discussion, which is you will post your self-introduction. And I think some of, maybe a few of you, maybe 3 of you, still have not added the picture to your profile yet. So please do so. And introduce yourself, and there are 3 questions listed in the action item. Please answer those 3 questions. And I think I saw some of you have already made posts and very good discussions there. So for those who have not made your post yet, please do so. The initial post is due by will be due by Thursday night, 11:59 p.m. and your responding post will be due by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And the second is a mandatory class meeting. Like I said, if you are in this class, you don't have to do any additional work. You'll receive 20 points for that, because your points is awarded for your active participation and discussion in the online class meeting. The third assignment that's due in week 1 is your project part 1, determine your topic. The next slide, I'm going to talk about your overall project so that you know how the project should thread through each week and how you can prepare for it. Now, the project overview. So those are some important considerations for you. When you select your topic in your week 1, consider, is this topic breakable into reasonable sections, units, or modules? When you do that, think about this course you are in. Well, the course topic is teaching higher education. This is very general, right? So the course breaks down into 3 topics. Module 1, 3 modules. Module 1 is teaching higher education, and module 2, teaching and learning in higher education, which each unit have their separate topics and focus. Okay, for example, next week focus is learning theory. The week 3 focus is instructional design models and so forth. And so when you choose your topic, consider is the topic is broad enough, and at the same time, can you break this topic into several reasonable modules? This applies to when you design a training program as well. So when you design a training, you have a topic, and you always need to break down the big topic into several reasonable or chunkable modules. Now, who will be your audience when you select a topic? And what are the previous knowledge in the topic? Do they know anything about this topic previously, or they have no previous knowledge at all? So this is something we call prerequisite knowledge. And third, is this course or this topic comprehensive enough to be a college level course or adult training program? Because you're in a teaching and learning in higher education course. That's why your training or your course needs to be focused on the college students or the adults, okay? Because K-12 will be a little different. The second, a well-designed course needs to consider using proper learning theories. There's 3 main learning theories: behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. Actually, those are more like umbrellas of different learning theories. Under each learning theories, there are a lot learning theories under those umbrellas. So the learning theories is to guide you why people learn and what my students will learn. Okay, so think about this when you look at the learning theories, and that will help you to determine what learning outcomes that's appropriate for this course and for the cognitive level of your students. So when you design the course for K-12 students and when you design the course for college students, the cognitive level are different. So therefore, you're writing the learning outcomes should be different. If you look, when you're in the week 2, you will study Bloom's taxonomy. And Bloom's taxonomy have 7 different levels of learning. So different learning levels will associate with different especially the verbs when you write learning outcomes. So this is a very important information. I want you to study hard. This is like very basic information to design a good course. That's in week 2. So the project associated with the learning theories is in week 2. So where you will design the learning, where you will write the learning outcomes for your course. And when you write the learning outcomes, I also want you to consider the different levels of learning outcomes. The course outcomes should be more general, more overarching. And then you break down the course outcomes to different modules, like 3 or 4 modules, depends on your course topic. And each module outcome should be more should be aligned with your course outcome, but a little bit more specific and more relates to the specific contents in that particular module. And each module, you will have assignments, which you will do in week 6, I believe. So in your at the assignment level, that's where you should be really specific on what your learners should do. So think about those hierarchy level when you write the outcomes for your course or for your training. Week 3 and 4, that covers instructional design models. Week 3, I talk about the instructional design models for the higher education, for teaching, and week 4 is the instructional design model used more in the training and consulting. So you may want to choose the appropriate models, depends on the topic and depends on the setting of your course. Week 5 will talk about learning technologies. So the week 5 is for you to think about with what technologies your learner will use to learn or meet the outcomes you set for them. Week 6, I really think the instructional strategy is the most important part, because that really relates how students will learn and how you would design the course so that their learning will be more effective. So the project relates to instructional strategies will be in week 6. And week 7 relates to how well my students learned. How do I know if my students met the learning outcomes that I set for them? What are the different forms of learning assessments? Should I choose formative or when should I choose formative assessment? When should I choose summative assessment? What kind of specific assessment strategies should I consider when I design this course? I know I talk a lot. Any questions? Yeah.
I have one question. So for our assignment this week, the topic selection, if we've already posted and we didn't address all the points that you listed there, should we go back and edit our post to make sure that we touch upon each of those topics?
Sorry, I think that's a little too late. That's up to you, Daisha. Okay. I mean, if you already posted a topic, say this is a topic I want to do, but I want you to think about those additional questions, because those questions will be very, very beneficial as you develop your course. Okay. So if you want to think about it and go back to add the post, that would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I would not say that I would deduct your points if you did not post the answers to those questions.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do we determine if the course is comprehensive enough to be a college level course or adult training? How do we determine that?
That's a great question. Anybody else have an answer for Johan? Or have some suggestions for him?
I'll take a stab at it.
Okay.
Is it something that you can teach in 1 or 2 days, which is more like a training, or is it something that can span over the course of at least half a semester of 8 weeks or 16 weeks? Do you have enough content to fill an entire semester?
That's a great start, Daisha. Anything
Yeah,
else?
I would add to that. So if you're designing a course, think about what your lessons would be. So do you have 12 good topics that you could cover in that course? If not, you're probably at a training. And then I did have a question. So if we're going to do a training, and although we're talking college level, it could be community college as well as more traditional 4-year college. Could the training be kind of geared like more community college, like workforce development?
So that's why I asked the question, who will be your audience? Who you will train? Who will use those training?
I also want to
Who will
object.
design those training for? Mm-hmm.
I want to object to the idea that a training is a 1 to 2 day thing. That's not always true. Like, I'm going to do the training approach, but I have training topics that last, 4 weeks, which is actually, a small course. So I don't think we can classify a training as a 1 to 2 day thing. Again, I think you have to look at your audience and decide how long whether it's a training or a course, does this need to be in order to accomplish your outcomes.
I think what Daisha really wants to say is the length of that course. So 1 day, 2 day, couple weeks, couple months, it really varies. But for the college level course, you do have to think about it's a much longer time. Okay, you cover at least, think about, okay, let me give you a time frame, at least 8 weeks. Okay, so something needs to be covered at least in 8 weeks time period.
Yeah, but my question was, okay, you can have 8 weeks or 3 months. That can be college or maybe 8th grade or below that. But how do we determine the college level?
That's why you have to look at the question 1. I listed there. So what's your topic, and how many contents would you cover in that content, under that topic? If your contents only cover 1 or 2 topics, that's definitely not comprehensive enough.
I'll chime in here a little bit from my experience. If we have a 3-credit university course at my university, that's across 16 weeks. So it's a lecture course that would be 48 hours of lecture during that time. So yeah, you could do that in a week, but that would be, 7 very long days to accomplish that. But the expectation is it would take us 48 hours over 16 weeks to deliver the content.
Right. So back to your question, Johan, you have to think about how much time a learner will need to put into your course to understand the materials, to do the assignments, and to meet the outcomes you set for them.
Okay, thank you.
Kelly, did we answer your question, Kelly?
Yeah, you did. I mean, as far as where my question came from, when I say workforce development, I mean, maybe it's somebody just taking one course, at the community college level, and they're trying to better themselves. So, I mean, where I'm kind of thinking is kind of like a bridge from high school. So maybe how to find a job, how to do a budget. I mean, things that they're not going to learn things they're not going to learn in high school, but things that they would need as a possible introductory college student. That's kind of where I was with it.
That is fine as well. As long as you have a good topic and also has a solid several modules.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, so another thing for the time frame, yes, my experience is time frame is somewhat objective or stretchable. So if I say I'm gonna provide this course in 2 days, that probably involves very heavy, very intensive learning. Now, so those 2-day course could be stretched to 8 weeks, which means the learners will have a lot of time to digest the materials, which means you would design the 8-week course versus 2-day training very differently. So that's something you want to take into consideration. Any other questions? Are you all tired? Did you have all bring a glass of wine while you're in this class?
It's just been a really long day.
I understand. Look, to be honest, I mean, if I could offer this session during the daytime, I totally would. But I just know like many of you won't be able to make it because you still have to do the daytime job. So that's really a challenge, and that's really a challenge for working professionals. For those days that you really have a very, very long day, and I hope you get some rest and after this session.
I blame it on Zoom fatigue.
That too, right? Yes, Shannon.
I have a quick question for you. Can you post a discussion board for the infographics so that we can start posting those to discuss? Because there's a discussion point for that, but there's no place to post our infographic.
I will. Okay. I think that's probably the oversight of our adding team that didn't add that part into the course. Yeah, I will add that. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a quick question too. This is Deborah. And my question is, because I've been struggling with what my subject matter would be in terms of creating, of course, but my thought pattern has been with the audience that I'm in front of, and these are young adults. They call them youth at risk, but they're 18, young adults, up to 25. Well, we did have one 26-year-old. It's been going on for 3 years, but I wanted to create, and one of the thoughts that I had coming into this class, and what makes me pleased to be here, is that I had thought about creating a pathways class. And that would be to give them some of the life essentials about getting their ID, getting their social security card, learning the fundamentals of life, and even how to even get into college. Sure. Because these are people that don't know this. So I'm sure I'll be talking to you a lot more about it because I'm challenged in it too, but I'm very interested in getting them this information because this is not just something I want to do for this class. This is something I really want to present to the courts.
Absolutely. That's one thing I also want you to think about when you select a topic. Select a topic that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
The topic that you really have a heart and love for, something that maybe, alongside that, maybe something you can use for your career, maybe something for the community,
Yes.
So anything that you can get your feet wet into practicing designing a course.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm open.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not limit like your topic only to like the courses in the catalog. No. You can even design a dog training course for that matter.
Well, these are young adults that really need it. They really need it. And it's going to help me as well. Absolutely. Because it's going to diversify and stretch me as to how I reach them because they're coming from different places most of us haven't been. But they they need to go on and be valuable in the community as well. So
Absolutely,
I'm honored.
Deborah.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm all about applying theory into practice. So no matter what that practice is, as long as I can see you apply those theories and what you learned into those practices, I'm happy to see it.
Okay.
Any additional questions? I think we're 7:35, so we're a few minutes after. So, oh, look at the pretty animations. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can always email me, yi.yang@franklin.email. Sorry, it's a long day for me too. yi.yang@franklin.edu. So feel free to email me if you have any questions. If you want to set an appointment, like a one-on-one appointment with me, I will post a link so you can book appointment on my calendar. All right. Last call for any questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Well,
Have a good
Everyone
evening.
Right.
have a very good evening.
You
you
too.
too.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You as well.
Okay.